DLC podcast, Marvel Universe. Hi guys, how you doing? Now we have some very nice news to you. We're going to record a series of podcasts talking about the universe of Marvel, the 22 movies from the Avengers and the Marvel Universe. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is the Iron Man. Yes, the Iron Man from 2008 with Robert Downey Jr. Okay, so let's do it. Iron Man is a 2008 superhero movie based on the Marvel Comics superhero of the same name. It is the first installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the first installment of Phase 1. It was directed by Jon Favreau and stars Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Iron Man, Terrence Howard as LT Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes, Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, and Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane Ironmonger. The film tells the story of Tony Stark, a billionaire industrialist and genius inventor who is kidnapped and forced to build a devastating weapon. Instead, using his intelligence and ingenuity, Tony builds a high-tech suit of armor and escapes captivity. When he uncovers a nefarious plot with global implications, he dons his powerful armor and vows to protect the world as Iron Man. Playboy and visionary industrial genius Tony Stark, CEO of leading military defense contractor Stark Industries, is a war-torn Kunar of Afghanistan with his friend and military liaison, Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes, to demonstrate the new Jericho missile.
While riding a transport convoy, Stark is critically wounded in an ambush and held captive in a cave by a terrorist group called Ten Rings. An electromagnet built by fellow captive Doctor Who Jensen keeps the shrapnel that wounded Stark from reaching his heart and killing him. The Ten Rings leader, Raza, offers Stark's freedom. In exchange, Stark must build a Jericho missile for the group, but Stark and Jensen agree that Raza will not keep his word. While pretending to work on the missile, Stark and Jensen secretly build a powerful electric generator called an arc reactor to power Stark's electromagnet, and then they begin to build a powered suit of armor designed by Stark to help them escape. The Ten Rings attack the workshop when they discover Stark's plan, but Jensen sacrifices himself to distract them while Stark's suit powers up. Using the armored suit, Stark fights his way out of the cave to find a mortally wounded Jensen, who reassures Stark and urges him to continue his escape and not waste his life. An enraged Stark leaves the cave, burns the terrorist stockpile of Stark Industries produced weapons and flies away, only then to crash in the desert, destroying his suit. After being rescued by Rhodes, Stark returns home and announces that his company will no longer manufacture weapons, having seen firsthand the strife that his weapons had caused in the wrong hands. Obadiah Stane, his father's old partner and the company's manager, advises Stark that this may ruin Stark's industries and his father's legacy. In his home workshop, Stark spends the next few months building an improved version of his suit, as well as a more powerful arc reactor for his chest. At Stark's first public appearance after his return, reporter Christine Everhart informs him that Stark Industries weapons, including the Jericho missile, were recently delivered to the Ten Rings and are being used to attack Jensen's home village. Stark confronts Stane about the weapons and learns that Stane is trying to replace him as head of the company. Enraged, Stark dons his new armor and flies to Afghanistan, where he saves Wilmera, Jensen's village. While flying home, Stark is engaged by two F-22 Raptors. He phones Rose and reveals his identity in an attempt to call off the attack. Meanwhile, the Ten Rings gathers the pieces of Stark's prototype suit. Reza meets with Stain and offers to exchange the suit with him. However, Stain has the group eliminated and takes the suit for himself. Returning to Stark Industries, Stain orders his scientists to have a new suit reverse engineered from the wreckage. Seeking to find any other weapons delivered to the Ten Ring, Stark sends his assistant Virginia Pepper Potts to hack into the company computer system from Stain's office. She finds evidence of Stain supplying weapons to the terrorists, but also discovers that Stain had originally hired the Ten Rings to kill Stark in Afghanistan, but the group reneged it. Potts later meets with Agent Phil Coulson of the Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement and Logistics Division, a counter-terrorism agency, to inform him of Stain's activities. Stain's scientists reveal that they cannot finish his suit as they cannot duplicate the Stark's arc reactor. Instead, Stain ambushes Stark at his home using a sonic device to paralyze him and take his arc reactor. Left to die, Stark manages to crawl to his lab and saves himself by reusing his original arc reactor. Potts and several S.H.I.E.L.D. agents attempt to arrest Stain, but he dons his suit and attacks them. Stark fights Stain, but he's outmatched without his new reactor to run his suit at full capacity. Stark lures Stain atop the Stark Industry building and instructs Potts to overload the large arc reactor there. This unleashes a massive electrical surge that knocks Stain unconscious, causing him and his armor to fall into the exploding reactor, killing him. The next day, the press has dubbed the armored hero Iron Man. Agent Coulson gives Stark a cover story to explain the events of the night and Stain's death. At a Stark press conference, Stark begins giving the cover story, but then announces that he's the Iron Man. Afterwards, S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury visits Stark at home and, noting that Iron Man is not the only superhero in the world, says he wants to discuss the Avengers Initiative.